Good morning, it's December the 7th, Saturday, and it's the day of the Socks on the Beach Christmas party. So I'm in my festive cardigan that I last Christmas. My phone just connected to the car and totally cut that off in my prime. Yeah, it doesn't go at all with my lovely new dress that I'm wearing, but who cares? I wanted to be festive. Look at that. So this is Hand-Dyed Yarn by Helen from the Wool Kitchen, and the sweater, the cardigan is everybody was knitting it last year. Can't remember, I'll have to put it on the bottom when I edit. Anyway, we're off now. I'm going to set up. The London girls coming down are already on the train. I happen to know they're having a party on the train, and I've got to go and get the room set up. Not quite sure what's happened to Sylvia. So I'm just outside. You can see I'm out on the balcony of the room where we have the party, and it's all going well. It's about 2:30 now, so we've got another hour and so of just some knitting. We've just done past the parcel. We played the silly orange game, which you've seen. We'll be doing the Secret Santa next, when I will be donning my Santa beard to give out the presents. So I'm here in my pyjamas again. No shame, have I? Excuse me. It's Sunday morning, the day after the Christmas party at the Hydro yesterday. I'm predictably quite shattered, so I'm going to spend this morning, guess what? Tidying the kitchen. God, if I had £1 for every time I told you I was tidying the kitchen, I would be rich, and then we could all go on a lovely holiday. So I will give you a scoot around the kitchen because I am nothing if not honest about my housekeeping skills. Although, to be fair, I have had, I had a big party planning for yesterday and there was organising to do, so that kind of took precedent. So today I'm going to put some Vlogmas podcasts. I'm going to see if I can... Sorry, I've just had chia seed porridge, Weight Watchers porridge, and the seeds are all stuck in my teeth. Oh man. Yeah, I'm going to try and pull up YouTube on the television in the kitchen so that I can have my lovely Vlogmas friends keeping me company while I tidy. And then, hang on, can we go over there? There he is. There's my guys. They're not overly impressed because they had the whole day without me yesterday, although Henry did come up to the party in the evening, which was really cool. Oh, it was so lovely to see him there, which is really daft, isn't it? But, so yeah, I'm going to do that today and I'll show you a before and I'll show you an after. Come on in. Honey, honey. Hey, baby. It's Monday morning, well, Monday lunchtime actually. I've had my piano lesson and Gary's off for today, so I have nobbled him into coming to Sainsbury's shopping. We're going to go and do our big non-perishable Christmas shop because obviously I'm away from next Sunday for a week. I don't come back to the 21st, so I don't want to have to deal with the big stuff then. Plus it'll probably all be sold out. So we're going to head off to Sainsbury's shortly. And so the counters become cluttered up again. Yeah, doing my plants. Fruit. Okay, I'm out with the hounds. We've just been through the big paddle, but I am wellied up today. It's foul out here. It's wet and windy, and it's not that cold. It's not super cold. I don't normally bring both the dogs out, as you obviously have seen, but I figured there wouldn't be many people out today. And since we've got these new harnesses, they are actually both more manageable. Henry barely pulls at all on the new lead. Honey does, but I can cope with her if Henry isn't pulling. So, and then once we get around here, obviously they go, where are they? There. They go off lead, which isn't a problem. Just looking behind because I might look like a pillock. So yeah, and the hounds are happy, and I was very aware that with me going away, I've been really busy this week and the weather's been foul, so I haven't got them out much, and I knew I wouldn't be able to do a double walk today, so I thought we'll go for a two for one. And then I've spent the morning ironing, trying to get everything up to date before we go away on Sunday. And then this afternoon I'm going to be present wrapping. But also I've just had a phone call from Joe, who's stressing about his last set of mocks tomorrow, and they're Oskies, so they're kind of live action mocks, not written exams. And we've worked out, I suggested that he set all the things he has to remember to Christmas songs to help him remember. So I've set him off to do that, and he's actually challenged me to do some as well, so I'll be doing that this afternoon for a bit. The one he sent me is the 12 cranial nerves that he has to remember, obviously lend themselves to the 12 days of Christmas quite well, so that's what he's going to be doing, but I'll be supporting that this afternoon as well. My arm is aching, it's murky when we're coming up to the bridge, so I need to keep an eye on these hounds, make sure they don't go somewhere they shouldn't, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. So, happy spaniels, muckier the better. Off they go. This side. Anyway, this is meant to be a knitting segment, this bit. I've cast on 3 new things to take on my trip next week. For those of you, if you're new to this, I'm going to New York on Sunday with my daughter Hannah, and obviously we've got long time and a little tin tube in the sky, and other times where Hannah and I aren't really party girls, so we're not going to be out much in the evenings. I can't see that happening. Plus Hannah's taking her revision because she's got exams in January, so works for both of us. We're both totally happy with that. She can sit and revise and have coffee, and I can sit and knit, so it should be really good. Perhaps talk a bit more about our plans later, but first, knitting. So, first knitting project. Product placement, little grey girl bag. These pyramid bags are so cute. I struggle to use them, but I seem to be the only one who does. I don't knit holding. It's got you can put it on your wrist and knit like that. I don't knit like that. But I love Gemma's bags, and I love the pyramid bags. So anyway, I cast this on so that I could get it started before we went away, and I've actually done loads, look. So those of you who watch Jules' So Sweet Violet podcast can thank her for this. You will have seen this. This is the I'm a Gingerbread Man colourway from Mr. B's yarn. Now, I should do this in true podcaster style. Mr. B, I'm the Gingerbread Man. I am lucky enough to call Claire, Claire is Mrs. B. She's Bird Street UK. She's a lovely friend of mine. I've met and known for a couple of years through Instagram, and her sister Becky. Hey guys. Becky and I are both big fans of Mrs. Miracle, so. And last year, was it? Mr. B started dyeing yarn. He retired as a headmaster and started dyeing yarn. How amazing is that? And anyway, I couldn't resist this, having seen it on Jules' podcast. It's so pretty. This was a mini skein that Claire sent to me as a gift, which was lovely. It's really vibrant, fuchsia pink. It's coming up reddish there, but it's a really lovely pink. And then what I've done, when Jules knit hers, she put a couple of garter panels down the front. What I've done, mostly through accident more than design, I've put, oh, there we go, a garter panel down the side of the leg, so both sides. So I put 2 pearl stitches, so you can't see it from the front, 2 pearl stitches on the front needle and 2 on the back either side, so that you just get that stripe. But I'm loving that, and all you can see, I've really got on with it. I took it to the hairdressers with me this week, and I just sat there knitting on it. They're fascinated, the girls and the hairdressers. They're quite young, and they love coming to see what I could do. They all went away last time wanting to learn to knit. So, oh, and that's the skein, or the cake. So, yeah, love that. Thank you, John and Claire, for dyeing that yarn, which I bought, I should say. Ordered it on the update, and then they slipped in that little mini as a present, which was lovely. The next project I've cast on, and again, done quite well with, I decided I wanted a knit hat. I did have lots of plans. I put on Instagram the projects I was going to start, and that completely went by the by, because when I looked at the patterns, I decided they weren't feasible. Doing a double brioche cowl whilst travelling, I decided was just asking for trouble, so I abandoned that. And the hat I wanted to knit, I didn't have the right weight of yarn for. I had this skein of yarn. This is Deep Stash, which is Plucky Knitter, which I bought. I scored this a couple of years ago when I was great friends with Amy of Stranded Dye Works, and we used to just stalk all the updates from America, from American dyers. And Plucky Knitter had a Christmas lucky dip, I think it was, so we both hit up that. And this is a snug worsted one hit wonder, and it's actually 70-20-10 merino cashmere alpaca, and it's been sitting on my shelf. Didn't realise quite how beautiful it was. So anyway, I decided, I'm not a huge fan of cables, but next year I want to knit. There's a cable sweater I'm planning on knitting, which I'll share with you after Christmas for next year's knitting plans. But I'm actually knitting the Tin Can Knits antler pattern, antler toque. It's a free pattern. You can go either on Ravelry, or I downloaded it from their website. And it's really nice. I just really wanted a good fitting cabled hat. I will probably put pom-pom on it, but no. Anyhow, I have done the ribbing. So you can see it's a little bit tonal. I love it. I love it. I love a nice deep rib. So this will be a folded brim. Look, I should show you I don't know if I've shown you this, my stitch marker. I love this. Got this from Tribe Yarns. So yeah, I'm all ready now. I've changed to the bigger needles, and I'm all ready to start the cable pattern. I may do 1 repeat this weekend so that I've got the knack of it before I get on the plane, but we'll see. So that's that. And thirdly, again, I then decided I wanted to knit some fingerless mittens. Oh, excuse me, my cough is quite bad and irritating at the moment. So my friend Penny, who's Penelope makes, her go-to mittens are the My Cup of Tea mittens, fingerless gloves, which again is a free pattern by Fluffy Fibres. You can go to Ravelry and download it. I couldn't find it on her website. Hang on, I think there's a hand that come down. Do you need me?
Yeah, please.
Okay, back in.
Just quickly.
Right, bit of wardrobe advice going on there. So I'm back. Yes, the mittens, My Cup of Tea. I think you've just seen these. Penny knits them all the time, and I really like them. So I thought, free pattern, that's good. I can knit those. Then it was what yarn to use. I had a try with one yarn. I was going to use this, which is my own natural dyed yarn that I dyed a couple of years ago, which is really pretty. I love this. But this is Exmoor Blueface yarn, and it's a very heavy fingering weight. And when I started the gloves, it came up way too big. So that's gonna have to go to one side. So I decided to use this yarn, which was a swap I did last year at Socks on the Beach. And it's Martin's Lab. I think Hannah liked this actually, but yeah, never mind. And it's Superwash Merino, a fairy dust colourway. It's so pretty. And again, I cast on yesterday because I wanted to get something started. And look, I seem to be on a real knitting thing at the moment. How pretty is that? So the pattern is just on the front, not on the back. But what I like about these is that they're quite long in the wrist, so yeah, really pleased. I hit a real knitting slump, I think. Are you very good at knitting, commitment knitting? I'm not. If something goes on quite a long time and I struggle with it, it really kind of kills my knitting mojo. And although I really wanted to get Hannah's sweater done, I had a couple of other gift knits I was working on. And, oh, which reminds me, I haven't shown you my finished object, have I? I'll show you that in a minute. But I just kind of lost the oomph, and there was a lot of other stuff going on. But now with these 3 small projects, I think it's really, picked up my mojo again, which is really good. So they're the 3 projects I'm taking. I might cake up another skein of sock yarn, not because I think I'm going to get all this finished, but you want to have choice, don't you? You want to have choice of what you're going to knit. So yeah, that's my travel knitting for next week. Let me pause you again for a moment while I get my finished object. So here we are, finished object, beautifully modelled. Didn't want my hair out. So this is the Snuggle Down Cowl by Jules, Say Sweet Violet, that I showed you I was working on. It's absolutely beautiful. I just love it. Now, so it's slightly speckled. Is that? Yeah, you can see the speckles through the melted suri. So this was Lay Family yarn, was the fingering weight I used. Oh, I wish you could feel this. And then Chink Fibre melted suri. Now I didn't realise, because I don't read labels, that the Chink Fibre melted suri is a heavy fingering weight. It's not a lace weight mohair or a lace weight suri alpaca floof that I think most of them are. So this came up a bit bigger than Jules' original one that she gave me, if you remember. A bit thicker, gloriously so. And I had to cut out one of the pattern repeats because I ran out of yarn. But it's wonderful. So that shows you it's a really adaptable pattern. I'm so pleased with this. So this is going to a friend for Christmas. What else have I knit? That's probably it for now. I think you probably had enough of my knitting. I will talk about my 2020 knitting plans after Christmas, because I've got some sweaters. Possibly gonna buy a sweaters quantity in New York, depends. We're hoping to go to Knitty City and Pearl Soho possibly, and then also hoping to pay a flying visit to the Brooklyn General Store. So they're the 3 at the moment, because it's not all about yarn. That will be adequate sufficiency for me. I'll certainly get a souvenir skein if nothing else, but I want to mainly focus on yarns that I can't get over here. stuff that, you know, I wouldn't normally buy because that's the special part of it, isn't it? So that's my knitting. That is my knitting content for now. I've probably taken up a lot of time doing this because I've split it. I can't see how long I've taken, but hopefully that's good. That's good. That's interesting for you, the knitters amongst you. We've got our book talk to come up as well, which I will do a little bit later. But for now, Hannah and I are heading off into town. She's going to have her nails done. I'm actually going to have my eyebrows done. Can't do eyebrows. So I get, you know, those are done for me. We're going to have some lunch, then we're going to go and visit my mum and dad because so I get to see those before we go. So we'll go there, and then when we get back, oh, it's exciting. Joe and his girlfriend Emily are coming home today. Joe is finished uni. He's got one of his exams. I think as I speak, he's doing one of his OSCEs, which is like a practical exam. So he will be finishing up today and coming home for Christmas. And Emily, his girlfriend, is coming for the next couple of days. Then she's going back home and then coming back to spend Christmas week with us, which will be lovely when we're back. So that's all happening today. But for now, I will say chin chin, cheerio, and I'll see you in a bit. So it's Friday evening and I've just been editing the vlog and it's quite long, but it's a week's worth. So I think that's fair. And a lot of it was the socks on the beach party. So just a quick note before I finish and round up with our book chat. Viv, yes, asked about the cardigan I was wearing. I think it was this one, Viv. This is the calligraphy cardigan by Shannon Cook. I think there is an episode of the vlog where I talk about it in more detail. But yeah, so just find it. It's on Ravelry or on Shannon Cook's website, I think. So anyhow, book time. Dun, da, 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 da. How's it going? Are you all enjoying it still? It was great seeing the comments, and I've had quite a few people who aren't commenting on here that said they're joining in and reading it, which is really great. I have actually read up to the end of chapter 4, Stave 4 now, because obviously I can't take it away with me next week, so I read ahead. But I think Stave 3, the Spirit of Christmas Present, is probably my favourite stave of the lot. It's so joyful and so full of blessings, which is obviously what the Spirit of Christmas Present brings to us. So I really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it too. I put out a couple of the things I love. I mean, who was it? Quite a couple of you were saying on the comments from last week, that you were talking about reading it and savouring the words. Well, the descriptions of the shops and the bakers and the fruiterers and the grocers in this chapter were just amazing. Don't you just want to be there? All those wonderful things, and the whole picture painted by Dickens of the excitement of all the people, the poor people. And there was one bit about as if all the chimneys in London, all the fires in London had been lit, and everybody goes to the bakers to put their bird in the oven or their Christmas pudding on, and it's just wonderful. What was the other bit? Yeah, the way the Ghost of Christmas Present sprinkles the blessings on people as they go past. That's lovely. I could get quite deep and meaningful here, saying that we could all do that, but I won't get into too much of that now. And then I'm sorry, I don't know what that noise is out there. Particularly the scene of Bob Cratchit's house. You just can't help but warm to that. Such a lovely family atmosphere in a family who were clearly so poverty stricken, and Bob Cratchit's whole attitude was one of gratitude and joy and proposing the toast to Scrooge. And you know, think about it, he's quite right. Maybe if there was more of that around these days, rather than everybody relying on their feelings and feeling entitled, but that's another story. Won't get into that. And again, similarly with Scrooge's nephew Fred and the games they play and the description of the two, is it Topper and one of the young ladies who are playing blind man's buff, and yes, he deliberately goes after her. I've now got Henry down here, so I do forgive all the noises. I'm sorry about that, you know, usual background noise with me. Yeah, I thought it was excuse me, I thought it was a cracking chapter. I love it. We've also seen the musical on stage a couple of times. It's come down to our local theatre, and the scene with the Spirit of Christmas Present is always the most opulent, bright, musical, wonderful part of the show, and I really love that. And then finally, of course, it finishes up with the two ragged, awful children coming out from beneath the Ghost of Christmas Present, which is the boy and the girl, ignorance and want. How simple, what sort of point you can make with just that one short paragraph, and it immediately brings you back to a kind of reality, which I think is so clever, so skillful of Dickens to have painted this wonderful picture for us and then bring us back down to earth with a bump with that. And I don't know if any of you read all the other comments. Lynn mentioned that, I'm going to read, so forgive me looking away, but Dickens had a dummy set of books made, including a set called The Wisdom of Our Ancestors, with volumes labelled Ignorance, Superstition, The Block, The State, The Rack, Dirt and Disease. Never knew that, Len. I'm going to have to look into that a bit more. I mean, we know that Dickens was very much writing about the appalling conditions of the poor in London. You only have to, obviously, you know, look at his books, you know, David Copperfield, Nicholas Nickleby, Bleak House, all of those. He really, I wouldn't say didn't protest, but he was highlighting the plight of the poor. So yeah, a champion really, I guess, of the poor. Yeah. I haven't seen A Muppet's Christmas Carol, I have to say, but I noticed a couple of people have said they watch it. I think maybe I'll have to watch it this year. There is a new version coming out. If you're in the UK, I saw the trailer today, a new televised version, and it looks absolutely awful, and I'm not going to watch it. It's produced by the people who produced or wrote, I'm not sure, Peaky Blinders, which I also didn't watch because I don't like dark and sinister things. And I think I don't know, the trailer I saw to me smacks more of the production than of the actual story to me. But if you are in the UK and you decide to check it out, let me know what you think. That would be interesting. I'll be sticking to the Albert Finney musical version, I think, and the Muppets, quite frankly. I'm just looking at my notes. I think yeah, that was all the things. I'm trying to keep this a bit short because I'm very conscious that the whole of today's sort of episode has gone on quite long. But it was important. I'm not going to do another book review today. I'm going to leave that now till after Christmas, and then I'll be back, and it'll be a bit more sort of structured, a little bit more structured, I think, if I carry on with this in the new year. A bit more regular rather than hit or miss, because obviously a lot of today's was about the party last week and so on. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Wish you all a very good night or good morning. When I see you next time, I will have been to New York. So think of me next week. I will be taking lots of footage, and I will be doing an episode that I put together all our clips from there. And other than that, yes, have a lovely week leading up to Christmas week, and I'll see you all very soon.